It seems that the Sussexes have struck again. This time it's with a brand new groundbreaking documentary that's poised to drop on Germany's ZDF network. The film, titled Harry the Lost Prince, will air on December the 3rd, but don't get too excited, it's unlikely to live up to the dramatic hype. Directed by award-winning filmmaker Ulrike Grunwald, Harry the Lost Prince promises exclusive revelations about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Oh yes, we're all bracing ourselves for the bombshells. But before you start imagining wild behind-the-scenes drama and juicy family feuds, let's stop and ask the obvious question. Has this documentary been cleaned up for the Sussexes' approval? You bet it has. The documentary will feature Harry's charitable work and his ongoing struggles within the royal family, which is basically the same old rehashed narrative that we've all heard ad nauseum from Harry and Meghan themselves. As if the world needed another reminder of how Harry's role as the reserve royal weighs heavily on him, the documentary will explore how he's been grappling with his position. Apparently ZDF wants to focus on Harry's endless search for a meaningful role, as if we haven't been hearing about that exact dilemma for the last several years. According to ZDF, Harry remains a figure of public interest, even in his self-imposed exile in sunny Montecito, as he desperately clings to his fading fame and goes on about his humanitarian efforts. But guess what? They don't seem to think it's going to be the critical documentary that we're all hoping for. Nope. No tea, no scandal, just more of Harry's internal struggles. And while it might address the generational conflict within the royal family, it's more likely going to serve as a reminder of Harry's transition from being a much-loved royal to Harry the controversial figure who now divides public opinion. In short, nothing we didn't already know. Apparently Harry and Meghan's lawyers have had a very thorough look at the documentary. Don't think for a second that this is some raw, unfiltered take on the couple's life. Anything that dares to step out of line with their carefully curated narrative has likely been scrubbed away. The last thing Harry and Meghan need is another documentary that dares to paint them in anything but the most glowing light. The documentary does touch on the so-called conflicts within the royal family, particularly those that followed Megxit and the death of Queen Elizabeth II. But don't expect any groundbreaking revelations here. The focus will be on Harry's struggles with being the odd man out, while his more traditional family members like King Charles and Princess Catherine navigate their own health challenges. You know, the usual poor me narrative that paints Harry as the victim of the entire situation. If you were hoping for an expose that would peel back the royal curtain and reveal what really goes on behind the scenes, you're in for a disappointment. The documentary's approach seems more like an attempt to keep the Sussexes in the limelight rather than deliver any actual dirt. It's the same PR-friendly fluff, just with a German twist. And as for all those hopes of a shocking tell-all, well, don't hold your breath. The only thing that's shocking here is how Harry and Meghan have somehow managed to maintain their relevance by selling the same tired narrative. The documentary, like their Netflix special and Oprah interview, will probably end up being more of the same, just carefully polished to fit their version of events. In the end, this documentary seems like just another example of Harry and Meghan doing what they do best, making sure the world continues to revolve around them while avoiding any serious scrutiny. It's clear that they'll never let anything come out that might rock their victimhood boat. So, if you were hoping for some juicy royal revelations, you might want to lower your expectations.